What's up everybody, my name is Josh Manuel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to replace the Ultrex control board on your MinnKota Ultrex. So I had a hard time finding videos of these online, so I figured, you know what, I'm going to be replacing this anyways, so I figured I'd walk you guys through it. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have the foot pedal in the all the way forward position. Make sure the power's off. Sorry about the loud noise, I live next to a Navy base. Alright, now that that plane's gone, you can see here I already unscrewed here. This is where you're going to start once you have the foot pedal down. Once you have those screws removed, you're going to push this sensor into the base. It's kind of difficult, but you're going to push it through like that. Next, we're going to rotate the lower unit up into this position right here. That way we can take and remove the sensor from underneath. Then over here. And then we'll take and repeat the same process. The sensor is now pushed down into there. Okay, now up under here, you see this E-clip right here? We're gonna use some pliers to remove that. Should look like this. Next, we're gonna remove this nut here. Once we remove that nut, we'll be able to remove the potometer that's attached to the speed dial right here. Once you have the nut and the two washers that come off with it removed. Okay, so normally there would be some zip ties that are on these two black wires, but I didn't see any. So next we're going to take and remove the button by pushing. I'll take and push that through. Button on top should come out. Yeah, there we go. Once we have the button removed, we're going to want to take and remove this reed. So once we have the button removed, we're going to want to take and push this reed clip through. Use a pair of pliers to do that. Okay, so I actually found it a little easier to take the pliers and remove it from the top and squeeze at the top instead of push through the bottom. So you guys might find it easier to push up through the bottom, but that's just the way that I figured out how to do it. Okay, so that reed clip won't go through as far as I'd like. The wire doesn't reach, so I'm going to take and remove these two clips right here. See if that'll let me reach it through a little further. Okay, I removed both of those into there, and that gave me a lot of more flexibility up there to kind of do what I wanted to. So that's good. So this next part right here is pretty straightforward. So basically we're just going to be removing most of these screws here on the bottom. We're not going to be removing these four corners here, but all the other screws I believe we'll be removing. Okay, I removed all the outside screws, as you can see. The one thing I wanted to note was that these two screws right here are not the same as the others. I believe actually in the replacement kit, there's two new screws to replace those ones, but you'll want to make sure you hold on to all your screws anyways. These two right here holds the control board to the bottom plate, so that's why those two are different than the other ones. Okay, so now we're going to take and remove that bottom plate. Should come off just like that if you took all the screws out, and this will reveal a lot more of what we've got going on underneath here. So under here you can see over here, this is our control board, so this is what we're going to be replacing. There's a whole lot going on here, so I'll try to walk through it. That way we can make sure that we do the job right here. Okay, first thing that we're going to do under here is we're going to take some cutters. We're going to cut this cable tie right here that's holding everything together. trying to be careful not to cut the wires there. There we go. Once we remove that, we should be able to do what we need to do with these wires under here. Okay, once we remove that little clip there, or that zip tie, we're gonna wanna take and unplug these right here. Take and pull these out. Okay, that took a good tug, so sorry I had to take the camera off, but you simply just pull these two out from the power there. While we're down here, we're also gonna use a screwdriver to remove this right here. This is the light assembly that you'll see on the upside of the pedal. This tells you that your power's on, if you're in spot lock, etc. That's where your lights are. Now that I got that screw removed, you can kind of see what it is there. In fact, the power should not be on. So, very first thing that I forgot to do, actually very important, don't forget to do this, was to disconnect the power to the trolling motor. So back here, we got that taken care of now, so we can continue forward with this. Okay, so next we're gonna use needle nose pliers to remove these 3 wires right here. Those are the power leads and motor leads from the control board, so we'll remove those next. Okay, now that those 3 wires are removed, we're gonna take and remove our accessory plug right here. You'll just pull these 2 straight apart. It's got pins underneath, so you wanna really try to avoid twisting them so you don't damage the sides of these. Next, we're gonna move the steering connector, which is this right here. So this one you can't just pull out. I made a mistake on this actually. Nothing detrimental, but you'll want to use a flathead screwdriver. There's a little clip in the side here. You'll want to take and push that in before you can remove it. Okay, so next we're gonna want to disconnect the steering leads, which is these white and black wires over here. Sorry, those are in the way. And then we're also going to want to remove the lower unit bonding wire, which is this brown wire right here. Okay, so once that's removed, now we can actually start taking this out. Don't forget you have your reed switch attached to it, as well as your potentiometer, which we'll just try to feed through here. So I flip back over to this side because there's one thing that I did forget to do back when we were dealing with the reed switch, is I was supposed to take and push this black wire up underneath to come out through the top here so we could remove it. So I had to kind of step backwards, so don't forget to do that when you're at this part earlier on. Now that we're back underneath here, that reed switch as well as everything else pulled right through. So there's our old control board, and now we can start putting the new one in. All right, so now we're here with a blank slate. We've got the new control board here, and we can go ahead and start putting it in. So the next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna wanna guide the potentiometer, which is that blue piece, up through that hole there, not through this one here, but through the one underneath. You're also gonna wanna take and put your reed switch through that exact same opening as well. Once you've slid those 2 wires through, you'll see that this should fit in, the whole board should fit in perfectly underneath this right here. You'll also want to make sure that this end down here is down at the bottom, because this is where those screws that are on the outside panel are going to go in. They're going to go in right here to hold this whole control board into place. So next you're going to want to take and put these sensors that we removed from the start. You're going to want to put each of them back through where they are supposed to go. So that one will go there, and then the other one will go back here underneath this plate. There's a hole where that'll go through. Okay, so on the 2 sensors, the one that it'll have like a Sharpie dot on the backside is the one that needs to go underneath here. The other one goes up to the top, the unmarked one. So just so y'all know which one goes where. Okay, so now that we've got those sensors put in place, now we want to take and get all of our connectors connected here and make sure they're connected in the right places. Okay, so once you've got everything plugged in, it's important to note that this strip for the LED lights comes all the way around. You want it to go right in between that gap there, underneath, to the side of that, and right into there in the holes it's supposed to. Then you'll take and screw it into place. Okay, one thing I wanted to mention is if your new assembly did not come with one of these for these wires over here, then you'll want to save yours from the old one and put them on there. So you'll want to take the forward or the right sensor as well as these two white wires, and you'll want to put it over that bridge above this ribbon wire. Once you've done that, your kit should have come with 4 cable ties. You'll use these, or you'll use one of these to secure these wires down in place so they stay in that little bridge there. Once you've zip tied that down, take and clip the excess. Now that that is zip tied into place, we'll take and we'll put our panel back on. And we'll get this to start looking like a trolling motor again. In your kit, you also got 2 new of these screws to secure the control board in place. I'd recommend doing those first since those will be the hardest to line up. So we'll go ahead and do that. All right, now that those 2 screws are in place, we can go ahead and screw in the rest. Now that that lower panel is back, we can flip it back over this way. We can start to put the button back on and also reconnect the knob on the side. We'll take and feed these 2 black wires up through the top here, where we will take this and we'll, on the side, see if I can do this with one hand or not. I can't. Once you've slid that back on, you'll simply pull that. Oops, I messed it up. Hold on. There we go. Back in. And you'll simply slide it down in so it looks like that. We can take and put that back in there, just like so. Almost forgot that we need to screw our sensors in place, so we need to do the back one and the front one. Should be pretty simple. Okay, now that both of those are back in place, the other one's under the foot pedal, you can't see it, but it is done as well. Now we can finally get to putting the buttons back on. All right, so we have our spring in place. Now we'll take our button and put it back on. This might take 2 hands, hold on. There we go, now it's back on. You want to make sure that the spring is working and pushing that button back up, so that way it's working right and your motor won't just be full blast going. Now this is the part I'm kind of dreading, is getting this back into place with the knob here, because it was very difficult to get off, so hopefully it won't be too difficult to put back on. And we'll also, I want to note, like, make sure that that wire, that ribbon wire there, stays straight and doesn't get twisted up. And you just have it turned like that one time. You really don't want to get any twists in that. All right, got that put back on now. Don't want to forget to put this clip on there. And then once we do that, all we got to do is take these right here and put our wires back in place, and we'll be done. All right, now it's put back into place. We got it deployed down. We'll take and we'll see. Put it on 5. And sure enough, there we go. There you go. I moved it to 60 FPS because it looked like the propeller wasn't really moving that fast, but doing everything we need to do. All right, everyone. Hope that was helpful. Please feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know if there's anything else y'all want to see that I might be able to help you with. I'm no expert by any means, but I'd love to help in any way I can. So thanks for watching.